Welcome back. How many of us find ourselves distracted at home with our friends and our family? One of the best things you can do for your loved ones is not just be there physically, but to also be present. Joining me now to talk about how we can all be more mindful of this in the new year is the owner and director of Calm Pittsburgh. We have Kirkpatrick here with us. So good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
This is such an important topic too, because I think we all kind of experienced a little bit of this around the holidays. You're all home at the same time, and you want to make sure that you're soaking that all in and being present.
Yes.
Let's start first with the differences between being present, being attentive, and also being hypervigilant and highly sensitive. There are differences here.
Correct. So one of the ways I look at it is in therapy, most people that attend therapy are highly sensitive people, meaning, you know, they notice things more. They notice the cold more. They notice smells more. Like, that's just highly sensitive. But people that are hypervigilant are more like maybe traumatized. They're like worried about things. Something's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But being present is actually just being where you are. So looking at like kids, you know, being if they're on their iPad when you're eating dinner, it's like, no, look around.
Be here.
Be here.
Well, you even mentioned being in the studio.
Yes.
So you know that the cameras are here, but it's like, oh, okay, I'm here at the KDK studio.
Yes.
But not being so hypervigilant that the cameras are right here and focusing it on. Like, I'm trying to remind you that it's happening.
Don't do it.
But yes, it's like so it's separating those things.
Yes.
Let's talk about again the holidays and why this idea of being present, especially when we're with our friends and the people that matter most to us, why that's kind of gone away and why we need to be mindful of it.
Well, I mean, I can tell you too, you can risk when you are present. Sometimes when you are present, you risk vulnerability. So I can tell you, I was present at Christmas Eve and I paid a close attention to my husband's family, and all of a sudden I was overwhelmed because my mom died last year. Last year, to 2023. So all of a sudden I was overwhelmed with this, and it looked like I was sad, but it was just nostalgia because I was present where I was listening and, you know, using my senses. So grounding exercises, things that we do where you just kind of remember.
You and I were talking about this too, and I have to tell you, you know, during the month of December, we're at all of these events for the kids' schools, and I'm sure a lot of people at home too, the Christmas concerts and all of this. And you see, where's my phone? You see everybody, all the parents like this. And you're recording this because you don't want to miss the moment, and you look around and you can see all of the parents with their phones up, and it's like, are you watching this to make sure you're capturing it, or watching your kids?
And do you watch that? You know, do you watch it again?
Right.
I think that's the other thing is, you know, one of the things that I will try to do is conveniently forget my phone because, or leave my phone somewhere, because that's something it's hard to resist because you want to record those things. You want to think that you're going to look at them, but really being present while you're there and making it an immersive experience.
You know, I think that we're caught in between this idea of you don't want to forget things.
Yes.
And we have the ability to make us remember, to be able to remember those things. And at the same time, you want to be present in those actual moments too.
Yes, but a lot of times what happens is it creates this FOMO. So then you're, you know, you're opening gifts, but you're looking at what your other friends got, and you know that they got something better than you got, and all of these things that become more and more and more when you could just really just indulge in the fact that, how cool is this? Like, how cool is it that I get to talk to Heather Abraham and about things that I like? So it's really amazing. And that's one of the things whenever I talk to some, at Christmas, I got a lot of like, what's she really like? What's it like? I said, oh, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I said, you know, you just go there and you're present. She's a real person. You just talk to her. I just go and pretend. If I start thinking of all the things,
it's just here.
Yeah, and that's not why I'm there. I'm here to talk about this.
And Dana, you brought something with us because I think we can all practice some of these things at home. And you brought fidgets, which
as I fidget.
The kids love fidgets, but maybe they're on the right track. Maybe they're onto something here with them.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to remind people is when the smaller your kids are, and your kids are small.
Yeah.
You know, take this week and just look at as you ask your kids to do things. Think if you ask them audibly or if you touch them and ask them. You know, as kids are small, you're saying things like, hey, get your shoes on, buddy, and you're touching them to remind them to do it.
Yeah,
and then you stop, you make eye contact, you touch them, you engage them. And so fidgets are just kind of a way for all of us to kind of come back to that reality. So we have our little Calm, we have Calm strips that are Calm brand, I got some.
Yeah.
everybody likes the Poppets. These are the regular guys. But these are some of my favorites, and I have a client later today that I have to make sure I bring this back because it's perfectly weighted. But one of the things that you could do is if you were anxious, say I did get anxious about the cameras, I could just fidget with this, and it focuses my physical energy, because I do have physical energy. Anybody watching this, I was reminded to cross my feet at my ankles because I wiggle a lot. But so this is a way when I'm on sessions a lot, I'll be doing this underneath because it reminds me to listen and not do anything else.
The actual, doing of something can help us be more present here.
Yes, and a lot of therapy practices and techniques were built on movement. So that's one of the things we're losing is even when we're in that box, right? So we're not walking, we're not moving, which is fine in therapy, but we have to be able to move some way. So focusing that energy, I tell things too, like I do talk with my hands a lot. Every time I watch myself on the show, I'm reminded of that. But that's one of the things to do is focus on these. So like
this is great.
Something that's not noisy, something, a lot of baby toys, this is just a silicone scrubber. It is soothing, and it's soothing. So the other thing too is we do, as a sex therapist, we talk about this. One of the major issues we have is people just not being present. They're not present on dates. They're not present emotionally. So it's really using these skills that we have as children to just be present where we are. So sometimes it's a sensory memory. You're going to remember me more because you did that.
I've been doing this
while we were
last
talking.
Couple minutes.
And it's manipulative, right? As a business owner, because you're going to remember that. But it's really because process-wise, you're going to remember me because you're doing something at the same time.
This. Yeah. Dana, thank you so much. Grab your kids' fidgets if you have them. Be present in the moment. Calm Pittsburgh has locations in both Lawrenceville and Monroeville. They also offer virtual therapy sessions. We're going to have more on our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh. We'll be right back.